Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. First night's Raw does go. I thought it was a pretty good show. Very easy to watch, flowed really well, and really there was nothing on this show I disliked. There was nothing on the show that I was like, man, that sucked, or oh man, that could have been better. Now, yeah, the Bailey stuff with Lyra and all that, maybe you can say it could be better. But it's weird, and we still don't know where it's going. Like, we kind of do, but kind of don't. That'd be my only criticism of this show, that the Bailey stuff is still kind of weird. With the one moment she's really happy-go-lucky, bubbly Bailey, and then all of a sudden she's pissed off, mad, kind of weird, and then she's happy again, and it's just, other than that, I thought the show was pretty good. Had some good wrestling, fun matches. The OTC's back because actually, here's the big thing with Roman. With Roman being back already, that tells us that his role in Street Fighter is very small. That tells us with him not having to be there that long means that, you know, he's gonna have, his role must be pretty small in the Street Fighter movie. Also, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we finally seen what Cody's hair is gonna look like, because there was a picture posted from like the makeup trailer of this on set. And we see the Guile hair. It's not as big as you would think. It's still up and out a little, but yeah. But yeah, that's the one thing that I got with Roman already being back, is that he wasn't there that long, which means he probably doesn't have a big role. Probably a small role for Akuma, which I would have assumed anyways, because I don't see Akuma as like a big character, but a good supporting one or two scene character. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. I don't know. Well, it can't be less than one. But yeah, that's what I think for Roman, that he's going to be in this movie, but he's not going to be in a substantial amount of this movie. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, if you want to help us out over on YouTube, you can do so by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat, access to our graphics packages, graphics tutorials, and so much more. Plus, you can get all that at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, also remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're claiming whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, and you're claiming a free game, or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're trying to get in on that Epic's savings sale right now that goes through October 9th. Actually starts today and goes to October 9th. They got a bunch of stuff on sale there. Maybe you want Silent Hill F that just came out, last week? That game getting rave reviews. Was at my friend John's house all weekend, watched him play some of that on Saturday night. Game looks great. Also, see what the free games are right now. Free games are Eastern Exorcist, Dorel Brothers, and the most important game of the galaxy. Played that, and it's actually pretty fun. It's a weird one, but it's weird fun, if you know what I mean. And it's free right now, so that's cool. But with all of that, we got Raw to talk about. Oh, Monday Night Raw. So, we see the Usos, Judgment Day, Los Americanos, all three of them. and Rusev arriving at the building. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett welcome us to the show. Tessitore welcomes us to Raleigh, North Carolina, and said that the city was, quote, that unique mix of cutting-edge business savvy and rah-rah spirit that mirrors modern-day WWE. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Bet the Hardy Boys didn't show up. Hey, they could be on NXT tomorrow, though. They could be on NXT. They're on freaking Mafia-thon this weekend. Goddamn Hardys showed up on Kai Cenat's Mafia-thon. What the shit? But there was a recap of everything that happened last week with Asuka, Kairi, Io, and Rhea. A pissed off Rhea Ripley then storms down to the ring. She comes out and basically just says, Kabuki Warriors, come get me. I want you. I want to fight you. I don't care what you're going to do to me or what you think you can do to me. Come get me. Like, she was just not playing at all. But then out came Io. And this segment kind of died for a little while. And I think I know why. And I could be wrong on this, but it was the Io trying to do an English promo. And then Asuka trying to do an English promo, but slip in some Japanese. And then Kairi do some English with a little bit of Japanese. So it's like, I get it. And the crowd kind of just was not really that into it. So Io would come down and she admitted, you know, Rhea, you were right about Kairi and Asuka. But it breaks my heart to say it. They're family and I still love them. Asuka then appears on the screen. Asuka basically told Rhea Ripley and Io Sky that she's the one that's right. She's better. And then tells Io, hey, you're here because of me. You're here because I paved the way. Come back to me, apologize, and let me be your mentor again. And then a not so happy looking Kairi was like, Io, come back to the family is basically what she said. But you could tell like Kairi doesn't want to be doing this, doesn't want to be mean and bad and evil to Io. And Asuka's just like, Io, you can be like Kairi. You can both be my student. And so Rhea's like, don't listen to them. He's like, Io, it's not on me to tell you what to do, but I know what happens when family turns on you. Please listen. Please believe me. And Io's just like, I don't know. I think I need them. She's like, I'm sorry, Rhea, but I need family. And so she leaves the ring when Asuka and Kairi attack Rhea from behind. This guy wasn't sure what to do, whether she should come in and help or just watch and this and that. But she ran into the ring and pulled Asuka off of Rhea. Sane then pleaded with Sky until Asuka sprayed the mist all over Io. Ripley then attacked, but Asuka and Sane fought her off. Asuka held Ripley down in the Asuka lock while Sane hit an insane elbow. Officials then entered the ring to break it all up and get rid of the heels. So, like, it wasn't a bad segment, but because of, and it's unfortunate to say this, Io, Kairi, and Asuka's promos kind of killed the crowd for a little bit. So, yeah. Kind of just there. We do have some bit donations here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says we got Rio. Oh, I get what you're doing there. Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. And Dirty Dom cheats like Eddie, and Roman Reigns returns after becoming Akuma in the Street Fighter movie. Well, he didn't fully cheat like Eddie because he got caught cheating. The first part, the first time. The second time when he used the tights and then the mule kick, it was whatever. He says, speaking of Roman Reigns as Akuma, did you see his tease for the Street Fighter movie reboot with the demon? Yeah, it was nothing. Everyone's making a big deal. Oh, we might get our first look at Roman as Akuma. No, we didn't. That's not a look. That's not our first look of Roman as Akuma. Not at all. They literally just, I can make that in 2 seconds on my phone. That same video. That's nothing. It's a nothing video. Cool, though, that he's going to be in it, and I think he's got the look. I've always thought Akuma was a little bigger than Roman, like burly, more burly, and like bigger muscles, but hey, they can make it look good. I think Roman could do well. Again, like I said, with Roman not being gone that long, it was like 2 weeks. I don't think he's in a lot of this movie. I don't think Roman's in a lot of this movie. I think Cody might be in more. And I don't think this movie is going to be similar to the 1994 movie. Basically, Guile was the main character because it was Jean-Claude Van Damme who wouldn't do the hair. Anyways, that's a whole other story for a whole other time. But yeah. Remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, if you're watching on Twitch, you can do so by donating Twitch bits. If you're watching on YouTube, you can do so with a super chat. Dominic Mysterio is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Rusev. And this was basically a Rusev beat his ass and beat him 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 and beat him. And then Dom eventually sneaked out a win. Sneaked out a win. So early on, Rusev was all over Dominic, sending him over the announce table with a follow-away slam, which sent us to a break about 2 minutes into the match. Not much happened until Dom made his comeback following the break, leading to a springboard senton for a 1. Dom then went for a 619, but Rusev clotheslined him. Rusev then set up for a Moxka kick, but Dom spilled out of the ring. Dom shoved Rusev into the steel steps and hit a 619 to his gut. Dom then hit a normal 619 and went for a frog splash, but Rusev moved and hit a Moxka kick for a near fall. Rusev then applied an accolade, but Dom quickly wiggled out and escaped the ring. Dom grabbed his 2 belts and tried to just leave when Rusev got in his way and said, no, no, no. Dom then tried to cheat by making it look like, Eddie Guerrero move. Look like you got hit with a weapon. Make it look like the other guys got the weapon in their hand. And the referee's like, Dom, get up. Why are you laying on the ground? I just saw you do all that. No. And so Dom's like, okay, never mind. So then the ref's trying to put the titles back out of the ring when Dom goes over and hugs the ref from behind. Rusev then tries to grab Dom off the referee, but with the ref not able to see, Dom then mule kicks Rusev right in the balls, rolls him up, grabs a handful of tights. 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio pins Rusev in the middle of the ring. What? That's all it took to beat Rusev? A kick to the balls and a roll of the tights? God damn, was that shitty. God damn, was that a shitty finish. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the finish. Not at all. Dom retains. No Judgment Day, no one helping, no nothing, no none of that. It was just whatever. It was an okay match with I thought, bad finish. Esports Gaming Rules with a bit donation says, I'm going to SmackDown in Cincinnati at Heritage Bank Center with a friend. Maybe I see, quote, WWE GOAT announcer, Michael Cole. Well, yeah, Michael Cole's the SmackDown commentator right now. He's doing Fridays because Joe Tess is doing college football right now. So he's not, he's technically, you would say technically available on Fridays, but then it would make it just way too much, red eyes, and the travel wouldn't be right because then he's got to be somewhere Saturday morning for college football. So it's just not travel wise feasible for him. So we get an earlier in the day video. Adam Pearce is in his office when he's speaking with LA Knight, who's trying to get another shot at Seth Rollins. The New Day interrupt. And Kofi's like, talk about world titles. I'm the only former world champion in here, so let grown folk talk. And LA Knight's like, excuse me? Excuse me? Pierce, put my name on that contract next to Seth Rollins, and you, Kofi, I'll see you in the ring later. And Kofi's like, excuse me? He don't make matches. And Pierce goes, no, but I do. And that match, it's official. So they set up Kofi versus LA Knight. They then show us, hey, Cody's bus is here. So Cody's probably showing up later. We see a happy Bailey approach Lyra Valkyria in the back. And Lyra's like, oh, whoa. No, we ain't playing these games anymore, Bailey. Bailey's like, what do you mean? She's like, don't you have a match? Go to your match. And Bailey's like, I know. I have a match. And she's also wearing a Lyra Valkyria shirt. And she's like, and I wanted to know if you would be there with me. I want to know if you'd come out with me. I don't think I could do it alone. And Lyra's like, the way you've been acting, I can't. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to help you. And then what? You're going to knock me down on my ass? And Bayley's like, okay, I know I've been going through some things, but I need you. And she's like, I'm sorry. I can't. I can't go out there with you tonight, Bayley. And Lyra walks off. Bayley then takes off the Lyra shirt and she's all dejected and goes down for her match. So we did end up having Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Also, they did talk about the big announcement of Zufa Boxing. Zufa Boxing will start in January of 2026, and they have signed a deal with Paramount. Paramount Plus will be the exclusive home to Zufa Boxing, with potentially some boxing shows and matches, or whatever you want to call it, some cards, airing on CBS. So basically, Zufa Boxing got themselves the UFC deal, similar deal for with Paramount Plus. And I think the TKO stock hit an all-time high today as well because of this deal. But yeah, crazy stuff. Apparently what happened was, as far as them not getting a deal with Netflix didn't want as many shows, didn't want to pay for as many shows as TKO was trying to put out there. That's why Netflix didn't get the UFC deal. So basically what has happened is Netflix only wanted what they're calling now numbered UFC events. UFC was trying to sell everything, numbered and fight nights. And Netflix was basically like, and this is all hearsay, of course, but Netflix is basically like, we don't want that many shows. And I think they've soured on that because of WWE, where they got all Raws and then everything international. And it's like, it's doing okay numbers, but it's not doing great. It's not doing any better than it would have anywhere else. And so I think what has happened here is Netflix is now seeing this going, yeah, we don't need all that content. We just want the big ones, the main stuff. WWE was trying to package everything together. UFC was trying to package everything together. Zufa Boxing trying to package everything together. Esports Gaming Rule says John Cena's last match is confirmed for Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. Yeah, we've known that for almost a month now. Like, we've known for over a month that it's taking place on December 13th, John Cena's last match, Saturday night's main event. But then we learned about 3 to 4 weeks ago that it's Capital One Arena in D.C. So we've known that for a while. And he says, I can't wait for Zufa Boxing on Paramount Plus. Well, the big thing is, it's like, yeah, you could be excited for it, but the big question is, who are their fighters? Are they exclusive to Zufa Boxing? And how often are we going to see fights? That's the big thing. Wayne, that was announced towards the end of Raw. That wasn't just announced, Wayne. That was announced during Raw. The women's tag for Crown Jewel. Kabuki Warriors versus Io and Rhea. That was announced during the show. But moving forward, Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Bayley went for Hurricane Rana early off the apron. Rodriguez successfully caught her and drove her into the barricade. Bayley fought back after a break and hit a senton bomb for a 2. Bayley then did the Hardy pose because they're in North Carolina. Rodriguez and Bayley then kind of messed up a spot, so they just kind of moved on. I don't know exactly what they were trying to do, but it just felt weird. Rodriguez then clotheslined her. Bayley responded with a figure 4. Again, North Carolina Flair country. But Rodriguez called for some help, and this allowed Perez to rake the eyes of Bayley with the referee not paying attention. Rodriguez then follows up with the big boot and a Tahana bomb to pin Bayley. Like, it was just that. Like, the match was fine. They worked well together. It was exactly what it needed to be. Nothing more, nothing less. The heels then attack Bayley afterwards, so Lyra runs out, but she's all kind of like, do I help? Do I not? Do I help? Do I not? The heels then got the better of her when she finally did. Bayley then suddenly snapped, popped out of the corner, cleared the ring, kind of looked like she was going to go after Lyra, and then helped Lyra to her feet and was all happy. All kinds of happy. So, yeah, high fives and all kinds of stuff. Again, crazy Bayley. Crazy Bayley. Usos are backstage. I don't know if it's just me, and my eye is watering like crazy. Like I said, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like they're teasing, but I don't think they're going to do a Jimmy versus Jay match. And we saw that at WrestleMania 40 and it sucked. So, yeah. Basically, the Usos met backstage. Jimmy wanted to know why Jay walked away from him in LA Knight last week. Jay said helping Knight got them nowhere. He was the reason that they lost at WrestlePalooza. Jay wanted to know why Jimmy keeps helping LA Knight. Jimmy basically reiterated what Roman Reigns told him, or Jay basically reiterated what Roman Reigns told him, is to think for yourself and that they shouldn't be helping others. It's all about the family. Jay said that he's doing what he has to do, and he beat LA Knight. Mission accomplished. If he did more of that, maybe he'd be a world champion again. Something Jimmy doesn't understand. Jay then told him, forget about Knight. They need to worry about the bronze later tonight. Esports Gaming Rule says, did you hear about NXT versus TNA Invasion special? Did you not see our social media over the weekend? Facebook, X, Instagram, posted all about it. Interesting. Very interesting. And apparently, was it Islam? They're mad at it. I haven't read too much into that, but yeah, that's the thing. So we got, medical staff helping EO. She can barely see because of the mist. Kyrie comes up and is just trying to be like, you come back to Asuka. Just apologize and everything's going to be okay. We can end this. And she just yells at Kyrie, get out of here, Kyrie. Kyrie, go. Kyrie, leave. Kyrie, I don't want to talk. And then Kyrie leaves a photo there of the three of them together, Kyrie, EO, and Asuka, as it slowly zooms in on the photo. Then at LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston. Just a solid 10-minute TV match. Nothing special, but nothing bad. Knight had control early on until Woods distracted, which allowed Kingston to take over ahead of a break. Woods also took a cheap shot during the break. Knight made his post-commercial comeback, hitting a slingshot, shoulder tackle, and a neck breaker. Woods distracted Knight again, this time by jumping off the apron in front of the referee. Knight knocked him off, but Kingston applied a roll-up with the feet on the ropes for a 2. Knight ducked a Trouble in Paradise, hit a BFT, and picked up the victory. So there you go. LA Knight beats Kofi as expected. So if you remember last week, Maxine Dupree was talking with Adam Pearce, and she's like, I just want to wrestle. I want an opportunity. He's like, hey, keep it up. Keep training. Stay in the gym, and I will find you an opportunity. I will find an opportunity to showcase you. Well, Becky Lynch approaches Maxine Dupree and Kira Tozawa. She mocked Dupree for being a loser. Lynch called herself the greatest of all time because, everyone says that. Sports Illustrated and this and blah, 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 blah. Dupree said, yeah, not everybody says that. Certainly not AJ Lee. Tozawa was kind of there and giggled at the comment. Lynch punched Tozawa and dropped him to the floor. Dupree then stood up for Tozawa, so Lynch backed off. Dupree checked on Tozawa, but Lynch attacked her from behind and hammered away at her until officials broke it all up. Lynch then found Rollins nearby, and Rollins left to head to the ring. Then Seth came out. Seth enters, crowd's chanting for CM Punk. They stop, and then they start chanting OTC, OTC, OTC. They stop, and then they're singing Cody. Rollins finally spoke. Rollins acknowledged that he had lost all 3 matches to Cody Rhodes, but it didn't bother him because it didn't matter. That was the past. Those versions of Rhodes and Rollins, they're the past. They were both men trying to reach the top, but now they're men at the top. The winner of this match wouldn't just be the crown jewel champion. The winner may just decide the next 10 to 20 years of this entire industry. Rollins didn't understand why anyone would want Rhodes to win the match and lead to the company failing. Rollins said that he has done everything right. He stayed with the company when times were tough, brought the company into the golden age, and took 2 young men, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, took them under his wing so they could reach the top. Rollins has tried to rid this place of cancers like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Yet, people still chanted for them instead of him. Rhodes would come out to a huge pop. Cody wanted to know what Rollins was talking about, as if either of them had any control over the future anyways. Rhodes looked at the fans and said that they were the ones who controls the future, whether it's successful or a failure. Rhodes mentioned that Breakker and Reed appeared on SmackDown, but it wasn't Rollins who sent them, it was Paul Heyman. Rhodes wondered who really was in charge of this group. Rollins claimed it was him who sent them because every decision runs through him. Rhodes wondered if it was also Rollins' idea for Heyman to introduce Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. Rollins reiterated, every decision runs through me. Rhodes said Crown Jewel should be about best versus best. Rhodes wondered why they would be where they would be in 20 years. Would they be sitting in the back, reminiscing about the past? Rhodes recalled Rollins being his shield at WrestleMania 40. He thought Rollins was his friend. Also, talk about where they would be in 20 years. These guys would be 60 in 20 years. They're coming up on 60. Like, geez. Rollins told Cody to shut up. Rollins said that they were never friends. That act at WrestleMania, well, it was a means to an end. Rhodes was the lesser of two evils. He wanted to stop The Rock and Roman Reigns. They would never be friends. He just had to work with him for the greater good. They would never shake hands. And it would never happen. Rollins planned on cleansing the timeline at Crown Jewel. Everything that happens between them before, well, it's dead. Rollins is about to write the future at Crown Jewel. Oh, this was good. Solid. Again, nothing super special, but it was solid and good and more hyped up. But I mean, it wasn't anything different from what we got last week. That's the thing. It felt very samey. Very same as last week. Rhea approaches Io in the back, still covered in blue mist. And this one, she tells her, hey, we got a match. Crown Jewel. You and me versus Asuka and Kairi. She then asks Io, can I trust you? Sky said that she could. Sane was lost. She could not go back to them anymore. Not after what has happened. Dragon Lee cut a promo. AJ Styles, him and AJ during a break, they just talked about upcoming things. You know, hey, Dragon Lee's got an upcoming match with Dom for the AAA title. AJ's got John Cena at Crown Jewel. He said, I'm only getting this match because you, the fans, want it. And I get to beat up John Cena. So we had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos. The two Americanos weren't Ludwig Kaiser. Their fake names are Rio and Bravo, but I'm not sure who's which. Which one's Pete Dunne, which one's Tyler Bate. So they went to break 40 seconds into the match. Americanos had the heat on Dragon Lee as the fans watched quietly. Like they were kind of dead early on in this. The crowd woke up when Styles made a hot tag though. He ran a wild and wiped out Kaiser with a springboard forearm to the outside. Lee hoisted Americano into the air and then right into the arms of AJ. Lee wiped out the other with a dive while AJ hit a Styles Clash and picked up the win in a 7-minute match. Cool. It was fine. It was solid and it was well worked. That's all you can really say. And then again, nothing super special. But next week, we're back to our normal start time, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We're in Dallas. Well, Dallas, Texas. We're going to see CM Punk. We got Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch taking on Maxine Dupree in a non-title match. And Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Jackie Redmond was interviewing Stephanie Vakira in the back about her upcoming match with Tiffany Stratton, Crown Jewel title, when Tiffany would show up. Stratton said that she's proven herself as a champion against some of the very best for the last 268 days. Vakira has only been on the top for a few weeks. She would learn what it is, that it is still Tiffy time. Vakira said, no, Tiffy time's over. So in the back, a very serious Seth Rollins told Heyman that they need to beat Rhodes. Heyman was upbeat and confident that he would. But Rollins cut him off and said, quote, I have to beat him. I have to. So it sounds like Seth's saying, or at least wanting everyone to think, he wants to do it on his own. He He doesn't want the Vision to help. So we'll see where that leads to. Is it all a ruse to make Cody think that they won't come out and then they eventually come out? We'll see. Or does the Vision not help, but old Brock Lesnar helps instead? I don't know. I don't think that's the route they're going, but we'll see. Before we get into our main event, we got to hear from our sponsor, Factor. Let's be real. Life moves fast and dinner shouldn't slow you down. That's where Factor comes in. Factor 75 delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to your door so you can skip the grocery store, the prep, and the cleanup. Just heat and eat and get back to crushing your day. Whether you're keto, calorie conscious, or just want to eat clean without sacrificing flavor, Factor has chef-crafted options that actually taste like real food. Maybe you want pancakes for breakfast, chicken for lunch, and a steak for dinner. Factor has you covered. And here's the kicker. These meals are ready to go in just 2 minutes. That's less time it takes to scroll through your delivery app and regret your choices. So if you want to fuel your hustle without any hassle, then sign up for a Factor 75 subscription today. Use our code below, scan the QR code on the screen, or use our link in the description to get 50% off your order. Eat smart, live fully with Factor. And we're back. Main event, Tornado Tag Team match. It was a fun match. I thought this was a really good main event with a great half surprise because we kind of knew Roman was already there. But it was the Usos versus the Brawns, as they're calling them. The Vision. Usos attacked the Brawns with dives during their entrance. So the ref just chose to start the match because it's Tornado Tag and it don't matter where everyone's at. Just go willy-nilly. The Brawns fought them off, though, and eventually took control. The highlight was Breaker putting Jimmy through the announce table with a leaping clothesline off the barricade. This left Jay on his own, battle for a while. Jay tried fighting back, but Reed cut him off with the world's strongest slam. The Brawns then followed this up with a Steinerizer. Reed went for a tsunami, but Jimmy woke up and shoved him off the top. Jimmy then hit Breaker with a super kick and a pop-up Samoan drop. However, Reed gave Jimmy the jagged edge. I don't know why I wrote it as Jaeger edge. Jagged edge. And Breaker speared Jay. Breaker then stacked up the Usos, who were getting decimated. Reed then set up for another tsunami, but Roman Reigns' music would hit. Out would come the OTC to a huge mega pop. Chair in hand. Reigns then dumped a Breaker from the ring and hit Reed repeatedly with the chair, eventually sending him over the barricade into the crowd. Breaker then tried to attack from behind, but Reigns hit him. Reigns hit him with a chair. Ooh, trying not to burp and cough and all that at once. This then led to Jimmy super kicking Breaker, Jay following it up with the spear, Jimmy hitting Breaker with the simultaneous Jay and Jimmy hitting a simultaneous Uso splash and pinning him to pick up the victory. Roman then gets in the ring and starts just beating beating Breaker more with the chair before he embraced with Jay. But this is weird. He embraces with Jay, and they dab it up, and the handshake, and they pull each other in, and he says something to Jay, but then we see off the other side of the ring, between them, but off from them, is Jimmy just standing back by himself. I don't know if that's supposed to be a something, if that was done on purpose like that for a reason, if we're supposed to look into it, if I'm looking too much into it, but it was just weird that, and I got it right here. Watch. So it was like, say Kenny Omega is Roman Reigns, Matt Jackson's Jey Uso. They're standing here together, embracing. And then you got Jimmy back here, like off behind them. Like, is that a reason he's not right up with them? Yo, what's up, Roman? Yeah, thanks. But he's back here, not part of this. I don't know. That was very telling to me. And again, could I be looking too much into it? Maybe, but I don't think I am. I think there's something to that, the way it was shot and the way it was set up as they went off the air. But Roman's back. He's on the poster for Crown Jewel, so I don't know if he's going to have a match at Crown Jewel or not. We'll see what that leads to. Maybe him versus one of the Brawns. I don't know. But should be fun nonetheless to see what they do. With that, a very easy episode of Raw to watch. And it was so easy that we got through this review in less than 40 minutes because it was just a right through show. Just a quick watch, easy watch. And yeah, you know what I thought? Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Raw. As far as the polls do go, refresh these polls. Refresh. As far as the threads poll does go, 75% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitter X poll goes, 71% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, 7% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, 80% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 74% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. Interesting Twitch stats here. 67% thought it was just all right, 33% didn't like the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I was like, thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Wednesday for our AEW Dynamite / Spider-Man 2 watch along gameplay stream. I think it's an extra long show this week because it's the 6th anniversary show, so I think they're going 2.5 hours. But regardless, we're going to watch along. We're going to play some Spider-Man 2. We're about a little over 2 hours into that game. So we'll have some fun, watch some AEW, and play some Spider-Man. With that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.